High School Sports Live is proud to present the Cedar Cliff Colts and the Redland Patriots live from West Shore Stadium. Tonight's Mid-Penn Keystone broadcast is made possible by our premier sponsor, Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, our community sponsors, Jack Giambalvo Family of Dealerships, Groff Tractor, and OSS Health. Good evening from West Shore Stadium alongside Ford Chapman. I'm Travis Sparks. Great to have you with us. Cedar Cliff, Redland, the battle for West Shore Stadium. Two teams that Redland wants their first win. Cedar Cliff, they've done pretty well so far this year. Had a little stumble against CD East. We'll talk about Cedar Cliff in just a moment. Before, we'll start with Redland, and it starts with them for their quarterback, sophomore Roman Jensen. He's thrown for 7 touchdowns this year so far. He's been all of their offense, but the whole team has got to get it together here tonight.
Without a doubt, and with this rivalry game, anything's possible. We've seen it for a long time in the sport of football, and Frank Gay in his second stint here as the Redland head coach, I'm sure he's going to have his team excited and prepared to play as best football game as they can.
For Cedar Cliff, they usually like to run a running back and run him all night. And in this case, it's number 29, John Tay Morris. He had 86 yards last week. Besides the 52-yard touchdown, he was bottled up by Central Dauphin East for most of the night. We'll be calling his name pretty much, I was going to say about 30, 40 times tonight.
No doubt about it. And look for Cedar Cliff to get a nice mixture of run and pass. They have a lot of athletes, and I expect that in this rivalry game, they're going in as a pretty solid favorite over the Patriots of Redland, but you just never know what can happen in games like this.
Third week of the season, make that fourth week of the season here. It is humid out, 78 degrees, but humidity is somewhere around 80, 90%. This is where we get to see stamina really show its ugly face sometimes if you're not prepared. It's important for them, and you've said this during a couple of our broadcasts, you got to keep the fluids going here.
Absolutely, great point, Travis.
Cedar Cliff, Redland, going to be a great one here from West Shore Stadium. We're glad you're with us here on HSS Live TV and ABC 27.3. Kickoff next.
So a while back, I thought to myself, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to have to rent forever. I didn't have money for a down payment. I had no credit history, and I just got out of a divorce. But PHFA showed me that home ownership is possible. They offer me a low-interest mortgage and a way to manage the closing cost. To me, this is more than just my home. It's a huge accomplishment and a new chapter in my life, thanks to PHFA.
CCA field trips make learning come alive.
I've been playing football for 4 years, since my freshman year in high school. My plans are to attend Penn State University and play football. Our trainers from OSS helped us prevent injuries by shaping us, wrapping us. They've always been there at practices and games, and they were always there when they were called upon.
OSS Health. Extraordinary care. Extraordinary athletes.
The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 4 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Genesis of York, and Giambalvo Hyundai of Hanover. The Giambalvo family dealerships. Over 30 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With a reputation for quality service after the sale. Giambalvo is proud to serve your community. Find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 4 great locations. Online at giambalvo.com.
stirring rendition of the national anthem by both Redland and Cedar Cliff students. Welcome back in here to West Shore Stadium for Chapman with Travis Sparks here as the junior ROTCs both make their way off the field, and we'll be ready for football in just a moment here as the sun has dipped behind the clouds here, a little cloudier than a little bit here. Four's got my 50-50 tickets here. We'll have him pay in just a moment here, but weather, it's gotten a little calmer. Wind is starting to blow a little bit here, and ends up being just about a perfect night for football tonight. Once the humidity dies down a little bit here, then we'll be in good shape. Redland, they won the toss and they have elected to receive, so we'll get to see their quarterback, our Commonwealth Charter Academy player to watch, Roman Jensen, just a sophomore, and he's had some great games early on in the season. First game in a loss against Northern, he threw for 362 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And 2 weeks ago, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Threw again for 2 touchdowns last week in a heartbreaker, a loss at Northeastern 16-14. So we'll get to see Redland first on the field as Cedar Cliff's Derek Whitmer kicks off. And it is taken at the 1 by Parker Lawler. To the 10, 15, looking for room, to the 20, out to the 24. Give him 22 yards on the return. And it'll be a first down for Redland. I'm going to say that a couple times because Redland and Red Lion are both in York County. So it is Redland that we've got here tonight. And at the 25-yard line, they take over first down.
Travis, the most important thing for the underdog Patriots here on this initial drive, get positive yardage and do not turn the ball over and give Cedar Cliff a short field.
We'll get to see spread offense right off the bat here. Jensen.
Out of a double tight, double flanker set. Nice running set. Not that you can't throw. You have 4 receivers available, and they're going to go to the air.
Out pattern, and it is incomplete. Looking for Sam Sklar. He was one of the receivers who had a touchdown last week. Also 5, Parker Lawler, who had the kickoff return. He had a touchdown last week. Incomplete pass at 2nd and 10.
That was a hitch route, about a 4-yard hitch route on the outside. Thrown a tad bit late and a little wide of the receiver.
Anderson French comes here to the near side, number 11. Got Lawler and Sklar in there as well. Jensen out of a short shotgun. He throws over the middle, actually over to Anderson French, who makes the hitch route up to the 41. Give him 16, and it's a first down.
Very well executed play action pass. Slant on the backside. Looked like an RPO. For those at home that aren't aware, run pass option. The quarterback has the option to give the ball to the running back or throw it on the outside. The ball's being released fairly quickly, which means the offensive linemen are not too far down the field for an ineligible receiver downfield. You see it all the time at the college level, and it's here at the high school level as well. Unbalanced line to the right for Redland. Look for him to go that way to the wide side of field.
From the 41. And they decide to go to Parker Lawler on a sweep to the 45, up to the 46, and back at the 47-yard line. Jordan Torado on the stop for Cedar Cliff.
Really nice start from the last 2 plays out of 3 for the Patriots. Moving to change, they're out to almost midfield already. This is what they have to do. They're chewing clock. In doing so, they're keeping the Redland defense on the field. And the longer you can do that per possession, it's going to be very beneficial to this big underdog team here, the Redland Patriots, in this big rivalry game at West Shore Stadium.
Caden Pfeiffer, the setback, along with Jensen, and the give is to Pfeiffer, and he'll probably end up.
Ball's on the ground.
Well, he ended up short. They call it a fumble.
No signal yet.
You just see the stop the clock signal, and
they're saying he was
third down. Okay, they're saying he was down. They just give the signal for third down, so it's give him a 3-yard run. So 3rd and 1 from the 50. Actually mark it up to the 49. They said Pfeiffer was down by contact. Now the referee's discussing chain or ball placement here.
It's very close to a first down. Travis, they're going to back it up a little bit. Now it's 3rd and inches.
And thank you to whoever made the decision not to have that pole, the old light pole at the 50.
Here at West Shore Stadium for decades.
Timeout, Redland. We will take one as well. No score, 10:19 to go in the first. High school football on ABC 27.3.
The Jet Giambavo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 4 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Genesis of York, and Giambavo Hyundai of Hanover. The Giambavo family dealerships. Over 30 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With a reputation for quality service after the sale. Giambavo is proud to serve your community. Find out why. The Jack Giambavo family of dealerships. 4 great locations. Online at giambavo.com.
If I may send out a personal thank you. Thank you to my mother and dear friend Erin for watching my twins tonight as my wife is taking a much-deserved vacation. Thank you, ladies, as you all watch here on ABC 27.3 as we've got a first down here as Parker Lawler gets about a yard, mark it up to the 48. It'll actually be 2 yards in the books, and it's a first down.
That's all he needed. Clock stopped momentarily to move the change. They're running again. We're 2 minutes into the football game, and Redland's across midfield. It's exactly what Coach Frank Gay wants out of his offense. Ball possession, they almost turned it over. 2 plays ago, a play ago, and
our OSS Cedar Cliff player of the game, Jonte Thomas, he's down here against French, wearing number 29.
for the flare here, there it is.
That's actually going to be a running play as the catch is made. It's going to go in the books as a run to about the 46.
Travis says that because the ball was thrown backwards from the quarterback, which is a backwards pass, not a forward pass. That is a live ball if the ball should be dropped. Last Friday night, early in the game, Cumberland Valley did the same thing against Springford, and nobody picked it up, and nobody blew the whistle. After about 8 seconds, the offensive lineman for Cumberland Valley alertly jumped on the football.
So second down, about 8 to go, 9 on the scoreboard. It's more like 8.5. Over the middle, incomplete. Wanted Laurel.
Trying it right down the seam, down the hash mark, Travis. Little overthrown. Quarterback did a great job looking off the receiver and then coming back to him. He just inaccurate on his pass, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jensen air it out here with a couple of the touchdown throws that he's made earlier this year. And you gotta appreciate a guy who on his Twitter page, his first picture is with Peyton Manning.
There you go. 4 wideouts, 3 to the top of the screen to the wide side, 1 to the bottom. Passing set here.
Jensen under pressure, now takes off, 45, 40, 35, 30. Looking like Daniel Jones from last night, 20, 15, almost to the 15-yard line. Get him about 28 and a first down for Jensen.
Travis, when you have a quarterback, when nobody's open, can make something happen with his feet, your offense becomes that much more explosive. And you had it right there. What a nice heady play. Instead of forcing a pass, you see it right here. Nice opening there. The rush lanes, Cedar Cliff front group has to make sure they stay in those rush lanes. A wide open area for a run, quarterback run, and number 9 took advantage of it. Very well done, Roman Jensen.
4-man line for Cedar Cliff as they line up again with an H-back. Now man in motion. That's
for number
Piper.
5 getting it here, yep.
Yep, Lawler up the middle, stacked up. And he'll get to about to the 15, that's 3 yards. Four minutes into the game, and Redland, no penalties, and this is going to be the 10th play of the drive.
Exactly what Dr. Cox, the longtime Redland team doctor, ordered.
Now French goes to the far side, Sklar to the near side.
Double tight, double flanker set.
Jensen throws, wants French. It was right into his hands and incomplete.
Really good job by the Cedar Cliff corner there. Trenton Smith senior DB. He has experience. He read that right away and tried to jump that slant route and nearly picked that off.
We did a game last year here on High School Sports Live on ABC 27.3. Cedar Cliff and Bishop McDevitt and Trenton Smith ran a kickoff back for a touchdown, and a game that was kind of ho-hum for quarters 1, 2, and 4, but both teams combined for 7 touchdowns in the third quarter, and he had one of them.
Wow. Straight man with a free safety by Cedar Cliff.
And they do the pass again to Laurel rather. Make that Lawler. He's got the touchdown.
Heck of a run after the catch. Very well designed, executed play. We're going to get it here on the replay momentarily. Redland, heck of a first drive to take an early touchdown lead. You're going to see the receivers blocking downfield when we watch the replay. And here it comes. It's an automatic. It was predetermined they were going to throw this flare route, which means you can block downfield, no offensive pass interference because the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage. And the 2 outside receivers did a great job blocking, and Lawler did the rest.
Extra point is up, and it is good by Gavin Feliciano. 7-0. Redland leads Cedar Cliff on ABC 27.3.
Today's Advanced Tips tip will feature Archie Smith, our speed and agility expert.
The block jumping drill is meant to develop the fast twitch jumping muscles in a young player's legs. This drill forces a player to jump constantly and should be fast-paced while clearing the block every time. Players will develop explosive jumping skills doing this, and it trains a player's body to jump quicker and have the endurance needed to jump in game situations.
The block jumping drill is one fundamental a player will learn in my class.
Gavin Feliciano ready to kick off for Redland after he had the extra point, which put an exclamation point on a beautiful 11-play, 75-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Parker Lawler with a 16-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0.
And he showed a lot on that run. The junior running back caught the ball very well. Squib kick here for the Patriots.
Picked up at about the 20. Now lateral movement up to about the 25 for Cedar Cliff. That's Isaiah Maisonette. And it's going to be a first down for Cedar Cliff. And they're going to mark it at the 25.
Now let's see what Coach Colin Gillen's offense can do for Cedar Cliff in their first possession.
Odds are he's going to give it to our OSS Health player to watch for Cedar Cliff, 29, Jonte Morris. We've got the over-under, well, we said 30 to 40 in the pregame. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere right in the middle of that number, 35, but they're going to toss it out to Trenton Smith here on the outside to the 30, to the 35. He turns on the jets and gets down to the 39-yard line, almost 15 yards and a first down.
This play was almost blown up from the beginning. The outside Cedar Cliff receiver missed the block on the edge, but the corner came up too quickly. Watch the corner come up and dive and lose his balance and give away the outside on the inside fake. You have contain out there. You got to push the guy back into your help. Don't go for an inside fake when you have contain. Jordan, that's why Cedar Cliff got the big play, Travis.
Jordan Torado is the lone man to the left side. Ethan Durrell, he'll give it to Jonte Thomas. Up the middle, 50, 45, 40. Look out, 35, 30, and he's gone. 61 yards and a touchdown.
That quickly, 2 plays, and the Colts get a touchdown of their own. Very nicely executed play. They spread the defense out and hit the athletic Jonte Morris, the senior running back, 5'10", 160. Really good speed for the Colts.
Try the extra point here. Now they say go ahead.
He made one guy miss, and he was already in the secondary, and nobody had good angle on him, and he outran everybody.
Kick is up, kick is out to the neighborhood, and good by Derek Whitmer. 7 minutes to go, first quarter. 7-7, Cedar Cliff and Redland on ABC 27.3.
If you're looking for a quality used vehicle at a great price,
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford has the best pre-owned inventory, not to mention the best hometown buying experience in all of Harrisburg. With our market-driven pricing, you can be sure you're always getting the best deal. Plus, we'll give you top dollar for your trade. And you know who's got Harrisburg's best deals?
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford, Colonial Park.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
So Redland started with a 75-yard touchdown run, and then Cedar Cliff only needed 2 plays for its 75-yard touchdown drive, 61 of them coming from Jonte Morris.
You saw on the replay as we were going to break from the end zone camera, his athletic ability.
Whitmer kicks it down to about the 3 to Lawler, who had the touchdown for Redland, and he's got a seam up the middle, and it quickly closes at about the 30. A nice tackle by 13 Evan Ziegler for Cedar Cliff, and we're going to start at the 30 this time for Redland and a first down. Looking out at the crowd tonight, looking about 80% full here on the near side, about 90% full on the far side. Great crowd from both these school areas. They're both from the same school district. So it's the battle for the stadium that they both play in. Pfeiffer in motion, and we have a flag. First flag of the night.
I think they're expecting that they have too many men in the field, but they don't. So they may pick this up. Wave this flag off. Yep, they're going to wave it off.
Wave it off.
The official on the Redland side assumed that there were 12 men. Cedar Cliff's going to shift here. The tight end to the right, 44, is going to shift over to an unbalanced line this way. Out of the pistol set this time. Looking for him to come this way, and sure they are on a little quick pitch.
Lawler looking for a gap, can't get it. There's 13 again, Evan Ziegler, who had the tackle. 1 Jordan Tirada was also in there, and a 2-yard gain for Lawler.
General rule of thumb there, when you go to an unbalanced line, which meaning you have a lot of players on one side of the football and very few on the other side. Simply put, you're going to run that way or throw that way until the defense adjusts, and there the defense did a really nice job and held them to a 2-yard gain. Every once in a while, a team will go back to that weak side, that short side, if the defense over-adjusts.
Jensen is lined up as a receiver, and Lawler takes the Wildcat and a flag on the play as he tries to get outside to the 39. We'll see what the flag is.
That was the umpire, which is right by the linebackers. That's in the position of offensive holding, which Cedar Cliff is going to take after the big nice gain, so it's going to make it around a 2nd and 18 for the Patriots.
Line of scrimmage was the 32, so the penalty will be marked off from the 34. We'll give Lawler a 2-yard gain.
That's a spot foul, so.
And then from there, we mark it back.
I think it's second probably in about.
They're calling it. They're calling tripping, and that's a 15-yarder.
Okay. It came out so quickly, but it's right in that holding area. Came out. Basically, this play was about a second and a half in. So it was something very quick, and there it is, tripping.
So 2nd down and 21.
Redland in the position to maybe throw that bubble screen out there. Quarterback draw.
Instead, Jensen goes to the left side, looking to get out to the 30, to the 35 almost. More like the 33. Gets 14 of it back.
Little sloppy tackling there by the Colts to allow Jensen to break a few of those and get a very positive yard to put it into more of a manageable 3rd down and about 7 situation for Redland.
Looked like off the formation when they had the 3 to the right side, only 2 defenders for the on Cedar Cliff were over to that far side.
That's why I expected the bubble. I was
me too.
The bubble, yep. But the play was already called quarterback draw, and not only a nice play call, but a very good run by the sophomore signal caller is showing a lot of good skill here so far.
Jensen Now looking to the right side, wants to throw and just a little low, incomplete. He was looking for Josh Patrick.
We're going to call roughing the passer on number 50 for Cedar Cliff with the potentially late hit, Hunter Garcet. I took my eyes off the quarterback and didn't see how late that was, but so that's going to be a first down for Redland, nonetheless.
So the penalty yardage that they lost on the chop block, they're going to get back on the roughing the passer penalty, so move it up to the 48, and it'll be a first down for Redland.
That last route that we saw were 3 receivers. They ran the outside guy just straight down the field deep. The second guy was the guy they were looking for on like a 15-yard out, wide open. And quarterback just missed him. I mean, you're a sophomore. Sometimes, you know, Roman Jensen's going to complete some. He's been a little bit erratic on his accuracy, but that'll come with time.
Sklar here to the near side. They go the double tight end again. Jensen. And he throws, and French. It's intercepted Trenton Smith, and he's got nothing but green in front of him.
We talked about that before. He almost picked one off earlier down in the red zone. He sure enough did there. Not the quarterback. Oh, we have a penalty. Hold on a second. Back around the 40-yard line, we have a, I don't know if it's some unsportsmanlike thing or it may be a block in the back. We'll see. Could ball be? I don't think anybody needed a block. He was on his way.
No, he was jetting down the sideline, and he had a clear sailing in front of him. But now we'll see what the officials discuss here. 2 flags on the play.
Trenton Smith heads up there with the tip ball, took it the distance. All the Cedar Cliff other 10 players would do is just stand still. As soon as he caught that, he was gone. But this may not be an easy call. 4 of the officials are still, 4 of the 5 are still contemplating what this exactly is.
Here comes the call.
Yep, block in the back.
And unsportsmanlike on Redland. Those are going to be offsetting.
Yeah, but the block in the back is going to count. The unsportsmanlike is going to offset. So Cedar Cliff football, because it was after the catch, but it nullifies a touchdown, brings the ball all the way back to close to midfield. Now you got to be careful. Whoever those unsportsmanlikes were on for each team, you get 2 of those. Not only are you kicked out of this game, you have to sit out the next game.
So Cedar Cliff will retain possession, and they'll take over at the Redland 49-yard line with 4:44 left in the opening period. So Jonte Thomas now lines up, dotting the I. And that's who they give it to, straight up the middle. 45, 40, look out, 35, 30. Just got to get away from 1. Up to about the 27. That's 22 yards for Jonte Morris and a first down.
Travis, I just thought we went back 20-some, 30-some, 40-some, even 50-some years ago for the legendary Cedar Cliff coach Bob Craig, who loved that slot and wing eye. That was a wing eye set, quarterback under center, ISO play. We saw that for 5 decades. Coach Craig was the head football coach here.
Jonte again, this time to the left side, and it has to be dragged down by 2 players for Redland. 2 yards on the play for Morris.
Coach Craig just made it in the 5th decade. His last year was in 2000, started out in the early 60s. Here's the Cedar Cliff head football coach, and for many of those years, he was also the head wrestling coach. A legend here on the West Shore. Varsity letters at Lock Haven State College for Bob Craig, 18. 5 different sports for Bob Craig. 18 varsity collegiate letters.
Unheard of these days.
Yes, sir.
27-yard line, 2nd and 8. Shotgun this time. And Trenton Smith, they're going to let him take it himself. Getting to the 30, to the 29, back to the 28. He ends up losing a yard.
One of the negatives on that play right there, the way Cedar Cliff executed it, Smith got the ball so far deep in the backfield. He was about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage from the receiver position. We have an injured Redland player here.
That's Sam Sklar, one of their
senior DB.
Yeah, and receiver here. While they tend to him, we'll take a break. High school football on ABC 27.3.
Today's Advanced Hoops tip will feature Duke McCamey, our post-training expert.
The Miking drill is a foundational drill that I teach all young players that sign up for my class. This drill teaches players to finish around the basket while using proper footwork. It's important for players to use the right hand on the right side and the left hand on the left side. I teach players to shuffle their feet and get low while exploding into the layup. Squaring feet and squaring shoulders is the key to consistency and timing around the basket. The Miking drill is a foundational drill for every young player to learn in my class.
Dogs around Central PA howling at that tonight, most likely. As Halloween approaches towards the end of the season, my wife has already told me what my Halloween costume will be this year, and I have no choice. I have to go out with the kids this year, now that I'm a daddy. You'll just dress up as a football coach, right?
There you go. Here are you look at the Cedar Cliff sidelines. Head coach Colin Gillen trying to get the Colts to get the lead here on their second possession after a big turnover.
It is 3rd and 9, their first third down attempt because their first drive only went 2 plays.
And we're in 4-down territory for Cedar Cliff because the ball being at the 28, it's a little bit too long for a field goal, so they know they have 2 downs to get these 9 yards.
Ethan Durrell in shotgun. Looking to throw deep and incomplete, was looking for Jordan Tirado.
That was a good read on the outside receiver, streaking down the sidelines. Just slightly overthrew it. He had his man beat. It's pay dirt. Very nice, good speed there by number 1, Tirado. He's a senior receiver.
So 4th down. Our first 4th down attempt of the evening. "12 seconds on the play clock. They can see the play clock at both ends. Play clock down to 3, down to 2. They just barely get it off. Durrell rolls left, looks, incomplete to Tirado.
Had the curl route wide open. The outside receiver, Tirado, went down and curled to the inside. Just throwing to his left. Inaccurate pass there for the Colts. Will turn the ball over to Redland.
So the interception does not get cashed in. So Roman Jensen and the Redland Patriots back out on offense.
For Ethan Durrell, that's not an easy pass to complete. Right-hander going to his left, but it was open, and you just got to square your shoulders and throw at your target and be a little bit more accurate next time. I would have moved the chains for the Colts. Had them knocking on the door to take this lead. Now Redland has their 3rd possession. 7-7 ball game. Very well played so far. Exciting football game in this rivalry.
Jensen unofficially 1 for 5, 16 yards and that 1 interception. Pfeiffer goes in motion. Now Jensen will hand off, fakes the throw. It goes up the middle. Lawler to about the 30. 2 yards on the run.
Back to Coach Craig at Cedar Cliff. The district playoffs started in the 1982 football season. And by 87, Cedar Cliff won their first district title, a 2-0 victory over Cedar Cliff after having been beaten 21-0 over Cumberland Valley. Cedar Cliff lost 2 weeks earlier, 21-0 to Cumberland Valley, and got their first district title. And they won it the next year as well. Went all the way to the state championship before losing to Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Jensen wants to throw and is sacked. Nice sack in the middle by number 50, Hunter Garcid. No gain. So Jensen did get back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
Fast forward another decade, Travis, and in 1996, a very strong Cedar Cliff team led by star Coy Wire, running back and outside linebacker. Cedar Cliff won the district title again in a blowout win over Wilson, and that was the 3 titles Cedar Cliff won under Coach Craig. Would have had a few more, most likely, if there were playoffs back in the 60s and 70s. He had some phenomenal teams then.
Redland 4 for 4 on third downs. Let's see if they can go 5 for 5 as Jensen wants it all. And he's got it. Great catch, Sam Sklar. And a first down at the 21-yard line. Make it a gain of 49.
That long ball was accurate by the sophomore. Both teams allowing receivers to get behind them on the outside. And this one was executed well by the pass and catch. The Colts had a chance, and it was just overthrown.
So it is marked at the 21. Jensen will have receivers to both ends now. And they give to Lawler up the middle and about to the 14. About 7 on the play.
I like this offensive set with the double tight, double flanker. You have 4 receivers that can hit you quickly with the 2 tight ends we're counting, but those tight ends are also in a very good position to block downfield, block on the line of scrimmage as well, and it's a nice set to keep the defense off balance, and it's a good running set with those 7 offensive blockers in tight. They're going to go the same set again.
Lawler to the right.
Colts were ready there.
To about the 15. He's going to lose a yard, and that is probably going to be the end of the first period. As they mark it down here under 5 seconds, and it'll be 3rd and 4 from the 15 when we come back. 7-7, Redland and Cedar Cliff. Tied up, second quarter next on ABC 27.3.
Customer convenience and world-class service?
Hoffman has it.
Our staff is here to prove it, and our customer reviews say it all. Regardless of where you purchased, Hoffman can provide warranty repairs and routine maintenance. Enjoy our out-of-the-weather service drive, customer lounge, shuttle service, and valet return. You don't have to imagine great service. You can live it because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford, Colonial Park.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
$15-yard line as we begin the second quarter here from West Shore Stadium. Roman Jensen with receivers to both sides. Now Sklar in motion, who just had the big game. They fake to him. Jensen wants to look left, has a man open, and it is incomplete. Was that a Brett Favre-like flick?
It was a well-designed play, and at first it looked like he might be covered in the flat, and then he was wide open, but it was just tough to get it to him. Another example of rolling to your left, right-handed quarterback trying to get the ball on the money.
So now decision time as it is 4th down. That's the first third down that Redland has not converted tonight.
I doubt you're going to see the ball on the ground just because of the yard. So I think we're going to see play action here. Bad snap.
The play goes for naught. It is going to be a turnover. Fumble on the play. 19-yard line will be where Cedar Cliff takes over. 11:49 left to go in the first half.
Last week, Travis, we went to our station at High School Sports Live. We went to Manheim Township, who was supposed to play Central Dauphin. Central Dauphin had numerous COVID issues, couldn't play, and neither could Harrisburg against McDevitt. So Harrisburg went down and took the trip to Manheim and won in overtime in a thriller.
You and Gary Sutton with a great call last week. And up the middle, Jonte Morris.
He hits that hole so quickly, Travis.
12 yards and a first down.
So tonight, Harrisburg does not have an opponent because Central Dauphin's out for their second week. They'll be back next week with the COVID issue, as I mentioned. So Harrisburg is going to Governor Mifflin, their opponent was unable to play. And Governor Mifflin is one heck of a football team. They were last year. They lost a tight one in the Western Final against Pine Richland. So far, first quarter, Governor Mifflin up 14-0 over the Cougars.
There is talk we could cover a Governor Mifflin game later on in the year as the run, it's going to be a run to Trenton Smith. They try that play again, and not much doing there as he gets maybe a yard.
Casey Robinson with a big stick, the senior linebacker. Another example on that play, Travis, the ball on that bubble screen, the ball was caught 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And by the time you get to, even though that very athletic receiver, by the time you get to the line, it gives the defense that extra second to pursue. And Redland did a very good job pursuing. He gets that ball, the receiver gets that ball 3 yards closer to the line of scrimmage, and he may break that.
Smith comes lined up here to the near side. Isaiah Maisonette, we haven't heard much from him. He did have a score last week. And nothing doing this time for Ethan Durrell as he gets to maybe the 33. And it'll be third down and long.
On that play, Durrell had no chance because he faked the bubble, and the two outside receivers just went down the field straight ahead, and neither was open early. In other words, there was no adjusted like curl route or crossing route. He had to pull it and run. And a good decision. You pull it, you run, you get a couple yards, you give yourself an opportunity to get this on third down. Don't throw the ball into traffic and get a turnover. Two receivers to each side on this 3rd and 8.
Durrell, 3-step drop once, the far side receiver, and has Tirado for a first down. He's been trying to get the ball to him all night long, and he finally does for 13.
Well executed. The edge rusher for Redland on that side elected not to play into coverage. He rushed the quarterback, which made a very open opportunity for the Colts, and very nice quarterback receiver read and pass and catch there to move the chains on a 3rd and 8. When you bring pressure, if the quarterback throws it quickly, you can't get to him, and it was very well executed. Here comes the old Cedar Cliff wing eye.
5 first downs for both teams here. Morris, nothing doing this time as he's met back at the 44.
It's interesting, Travis, when you see teams have this wide open shotgun attack, which we're seeing all over the nation at the high school level, and they try to go back to the old school under center, 2 backs. It's not very easy because there's only so much you can do practice time. A lot of these guys play both, you have offense and defensive practice. It's not like the college set where you're just practicing offense all day or defense all practice. So you're limited with your time, and it didn't work there. Take nothing away from Redland's defense. They gang tackled on that play.
Durrell wants Smith. That's a run. That's going to be a pass this time, and now he's going to come back this way. Flag on the play.
Block in the back. It's coming back.
Yeah, Smith is gone, but there's a block in the back, and the referee is already discussing it with the man who is guilty. And he's like, darn it.
That shows you there, Travis Smith's athleticism to make something out of nothing. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but he caught the ball, again, 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, which gave Redland's chance to corral it. But he actually, even though they had 6, 7, 8 players at the point of attack, what did he do? Use his athleticism to reverse field. Very heady play and athletic play by Smith, but it's all coming back.
So it's going to be a 14-yard penalty since it's a spot foul. So back to the 31-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd and 25. 2 penalties on the night for Cedar Cliff so far. And those things happen when you've got a reversal of field like that.
Sure do.
And you're trying to, if you're an offensive lineman, you're trying to block the nearest person, and you turn around and you might accidentally touch somebody. That's a penalty.
Smith has a touchdown on defense called back because of a block in the back, and now he has a touchdown on offense. And his athleticism is showing. I'm very impressed with some of these skill players for the Colts.
But he'll still put that on his tape that he sends to colleges.
Darn right.
From the 31.
Unique set here. 2 backs in the backfield, but shotgun.
Durrell, now it's an RPO this time, but not going anywhere. Back to the 27-yard line, and a huge play by Anderson French.
Quarterback was reading that, and he decided to pull it from the running back's belly and keep it on his own, but very good position defense by the Redland Patriots. Knew their gaps of responsibility, didn't go for the fake, and very nice tackle. Now it's 3rd and a mile. If you're Redland, you just want to keep him in the pen, the quarterback that is. Look for some type of screen or draw, or just a home run, long ball.
That should be 3rd. Let's just say they got to get to I-83 for a first down. It's 3rd and about 26, and they're going to go 4 wides with Morris in the backfield. Durrell, just a simple handoff. About 11 yards on the gain. That puts Morris over 100 yards on the night.
He broke 1 tackle, but wasn't going to break 2 more, and Redland's forcing a punt here. We have ourselves a heck of a football game, a quarter and a half in, Travis. Both teams are competing really hard, and it's really good to see in this big West Shore School District rivalry.
Coming up at halftime, the Jack Giambalvo halftime report, the AT&T first half highlights, Highmark halftime stats, and Charlie Fortney will talk to Dr. Callista Morris from OSS Health. That's all coming up here at halftime. Whitmer with the punt, and they're saying get away, and it takes a Cedar Cliff bounce.
He was fortunate there. He got like an extra 10, 12-yard roll, didn't he, Travis?
About 20 to the 23-yard line, and a bounce at the 33. So with 6:45 to go here in quarter number 2, Redland is back out. Of course, Redland, the name Redland came to national prominence a couple of years back when their Little League World Series team made it all the way to the World Championship game, falling short to Japan. And then a lot of the stars from that team won a state championship and were state runner-up last year. Back to throw is Jensen. Looking and sacked. Great play for Cedar Cliff. 39, Michael Armanini with the tackle. So back to the 15-yard line, a loss of 8. Coming up next week here on High School Sports Live, we follow Cedar Cliff over to Hershey Park Stadium as they will take on the Lower Dauphin Falcons. 7 o'clock game time next Friday night. It's actually a Thursday night game, excuse me. It is a Thursday night game. So we hope you join us here on ABC 27.3 for Thursday night football.
Quarterback draw.
Jensen. To about the 16-yard line. He'll only pick up 1.
That was a called play. Cedar Cliff played really good defense there to force up a 3rd and very long, about 16 yards. You don't want to make a mistake here if you're Redland turning the ball over. Cedar Cliff's going to get very solid field position, it looks like, with just under 5 minutes to go by that point.
So French will come to the near side, Sklar to the far side, Lawler also to the far side, Pfeiffer in the backfield for Jensen. Looks like Patrick out there also as well as Jensen throws, and it's a nice catch to the 30, to the 35, and it's a first down.
Well-designed play to the 3-receiver side by Redland. Receiver going out and then working himself up the sidelines and back in slightly. Very accurate pass by the sophomore Jensen. And a much-needed first down for Redland to not give Cedar Cliff the ball.
Parker Lawler with the catch to the 38. And a first down for Redland. Sklar again here now to the near side, and they send Pfeiffer in motion.
Expect to see the big man running back. Here it comes.
It's actually going to be to Lawler. To about the 41, give him 3.
Running formation there. That was expected. Solid defense by the Colts. But if you're Redland, hey, you get 2.5 yards. There's nothing wrong with that on first down. keeps you ahead of the chains. Give yourself a chance that you get a few more, give yourself a manageable third down situation. Here's the clock going to slowly go under 4 minutes by the time this ball's snapped.
Yeah, this drive's taken 2.5 minutes already. Jensen over the middle, wants Pfeiffer, and it is incomplete. Almost an interception. Elijah Wilborn on the coverage, almost had the interception.
On that route, Travis, if you're going to hit the tight end, unless he's just wide open running down the seam, you got to throw that sooner before the defensive backs for Cedar Cliff, who bounce, they run to the ball well. That would have been completed most likely if you put it just over the linebacker and throw that about a second sooner. And hey, young quarterbacks, they learn that, and you can learn that. The best way to learn that is in-game situation. There's one thing doing it in practice. Getting a chance to do it in a game is huge. Empty set. 5 wide receivers, that means, for Redland. 4-man rush. Here comes blitz, 6-man rush. They're going to get him? No.
Jensen, no. Over the, oh, Pfeiffer had it in his hands and dropped it. He had a first down at the 49, but could not handle the pass, and it'll be fourth and long, and they're going to punt it away.
Cedar Cliff elected. It looked like a 4-man rush at first, and then the 2 linebackers came as well, 6 men, and you can only block with 5 when you have all 5 receivers going out for pass routes. So somebody's going to come unblocked, and a very good pass just needs to be caught.
So Tirado will be deep. Feliciano with the punt, and the Duck decides to bounce. It bounced at the 35, and it'll take a 10-yard bounce to the 25, and it's a first down for Cedar Cliff. 3:38 to go here in the first half.
Both punters, not real good punts, but you get the 10-yard roll, it ends up being okay, and no return. The other big no return either way. So ended up being okay punts when you get that extra yardage on the roll, and the punts were unfieldable with 1 guy back for both teams. Still enough time for Cedar Cliff to at least get the ball in the red zone if they move rather quickly, and they have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Cedar Cliff has only run 15 plays. This is only their 15th play of the half. Durrell wants Trenton Smith, and it goes incomplete. Sklar on the coverage.
Good coverage.
And we have a flag. So the referee see roughing the passer is going to be called on Redland, so a first down.
Didn't see it, and if you are, I hope you're getting the replay at home. Our monitors currently not working, so if you do get the replay, we're not going to comment on it because we can't see it. And my eyes went to the ball, and I was not able to witness whether that was how bad that roughing the passer was.
So to the 40-yard line will be a first down as Chad and Mission Control is attempting to get our monitor back. Thank you, Chad Edwards and the entire Invicta team, bringing you the great shots tonight. Morris stacked up, nowhere to go. Pfeiffer in there on the tackle. See who else gets up off the pile there. We'll give credit here for Redland. 78 Tommy O'Neill, 88 Bryce Phillips in there as well. And we'll give him a yard. It'll be second down.
Clock just about to go to 3 minutes. You don't have to worry too much right now if you're Cedar Cliff with time, but you don't want to take too much time if you want to give yourself a chance at a touchdown. 60 yards away from Pater.
Nathan Lusk also there as one of the receivers they give to Morris up the middle and almost to the 50-yard line. Hanging on for dear life is Colton Hoffman, number 31, to get a tackle about the 49.
Unless Morris breaks at 60 yards.
Yes.
Let's not forget about that. You can be when you have skilled players like that, you can score very quickly.
So
you
third
just don't want
down.
to take too much time in and out of the huddle here, Travis, with clock down to 2:22. Pro eye set. That's a penalty. should have been a penalty flag there. Both receivers were off the line of scrimmage. They threw one, but that was the umpire. Both receivers were off the ball, and we had I backfield. So you need to have 7 on line, and they only had 6. But the officials did not catch that.
See what the flag is all about here.
Pretty easy call that was missed.
The face mask is going to be the call, and it's personal foul, the 15-yard variety. So the ball will go onto the Redland side.
Every offensive snap, for those at home, you must have, at all levels of football, at least 7 players on the line of scrimmage. If you have less than that, fewer than that, which they had 6, Cedar Cliff did, it's an automatic penalty as soon as the ball is snapped, which it was not called.
So move it up to, well, they're going to move it up more like the 35-yard line. They're going to give them the yard that Terrell got, and 15 more. Man in motion.
Play
now,
action.
Fake to Morris. Got the fullback out of the backfield. That's Armanini to the far side and almost all the way. Armanini to the 2.
He ran over a Redland defender, ran him over around the 10-yard line, and got shoestring tackled inside the 5. Here we're going to get a look at it. Watch the fullback on the beautiful, oh, it has actually the tight end. Actually, that was a tight end out in the flat. Woo!
So first and goal from the 2.
Armanini with a football play after that reception.
Dare I say Mike Allstott-like.
Yes, sir.
From the 2, wide receivers to both sides, I backfield.
I'm looking for the fullback.
And we got a whistle. Ricardo Harmon was dotting the I that time. We didn't see Morris in there. We got a flag offside. So
that's a dead ball foul in high school. In college and pro, if you line up off sides, they're not going to call it unless you come across and make contact with the offense. But in this case, in high school, if you're in that neutral zone where that football's spotted, automatic half the distance since you're inside the 10 here.
So it's Harmon again, dotting the I, deep dot of the I. And a penalty flag again. And it's false start.
When you have the ball, I've been saying this since I've been a little kid, Travis. When you have the football and you are inside the 3-yard line, in this case inside the 1, and it's first and goal, just don't move early.
Mm-hmm.
You're better off moving a smidgen late.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And it's got to drive Coach Gillen nuts on the Cedar Cliff sidelines. Now the clock's moving. He has 3 timeouts. Want to keep an eye on that clock as you're on the 6. You want to give yourself 4 downs here on first and goal from the 6.
And they give up the middle to about
fumble. Ball did come out. It came out.
Harmon. Did he get back? And it's a fumble, and Redland has it. Wow.
And the other thing, along with don't go any illegal procedures, don't move early on the snap on offense. The other thing, you gotta protect the football, especially on first and goal. Here it is. See what happened. They just sort of lost it.
Yeah, great job.
May have got hit slightly, but he still had it and then lost it when he was going to the ground. But it definitely came out before he hit the ground. Good call.
Bryce Phillips with the recovery of the fumble. So the 2-yard line is where this drive is. And Cedar Cliff has 3 timeouts left, so Redland's got to get some positive yards here, and they're going to run Jensen just up the middle.
Cedar Cliff's not called it.
To the 4.
You want to use all 3 timeouts here. Yes, you're right, Travis, and force them to punt out of their own end zone, but Cedar Cliff's just going to let the clock run. Interesting.
So we're going to tick down here to halftime. And we're going to start all over 7-7 here from West Shore Stadium. And that is halftime. Jack Giambalvo halftime report on the way, plus the AT&T first half highlights and the Highmark halftime stats. Now let's throw it to Charlie Fortney and Dr. Callista Morris from OSS Health.
I'm with Dr. Calista Morris from OSS Health. She's an orthopedic sports medicine surgeon. Today we're going to talk about shoulder injuries. What sport really kind of wins this, if you will, the injury battle?
Yeah, absolutely, hands down, as some people may guess, football wins that battle, but very close by are wrestling and baseball. Okay. When it comes to baseball, pitching is absolutely the number one, more so than field players or catching. So pitchers are the biggest risk. Football is kind of a conglomerate. Yes, we see them in the quarterbacks, but those are more contact positions. Right. So wide receivers, running backs, they get hit a little bit harder. I'm
mentoring a young man. He's in my car the other day, and my shoulder hurts. I said, hey, what's going on, buddy? He said, I landed on my shoulder in practice. Do you tell them to go right back out there, or should they come in and get an x-ray, maybe like OSS Health, or should they, how do they know whether to be careful or just to keep going at it?
If obviously there's deformity or anything like that to the shoulder just doesn't look right, come in right away, we'll get an x-ray. But if it just seems like a mild ache, give it a day or two, take some ibuprofen, Tylenol if you can tolerate it, and then if it's still not better within 72 hours, then definitely come in and get it checked out.
Talk about preventative measures for shoulder injuries.
Absolutely. So the number one thing for us is actually the shoulder blade. So if we can really strengthen the back and the shoulder blade, that helps the shoulder move better as a unit, puts you at less risk of injury. And then also stretching. So you want the motion on your dominant side to equal the motion of your non-dominant side.
Cincinnati Reds, Bucknell wrestling team. I mean, you've been around a lot of different sports. It's got to be a dream come true. A little girl or a little guy, high school kid, junior high comes in. You can talk to them about sports. You can relate to them. You've been there. Does that give you an advantage making that connection?
Absolutely. So being a former athlete and being around as high level as Major League Baseball, we understand the importance of getting back to their sport and their passion and what they want to do and doing it safely, but also timing for that. So gotcha. We kind of base, are you going into senior season? Are you trying to make this tournament or that tournament? How can we work your injury to get you back to your goal?
What would be like a return to play checklist on how you could judge whether or not that shoulder is ready to go?
Yeah. So if it's any type of shoulder injury that requires rehab, it's at least 6 weeks rehab. So you're out for 6 weeks if you're not taking care of yourself. If it gets to a surgical aspect, now we're looking at 6 months. So it's a pretty big deal if we have to go in for surgery. So if you can take a break and let it rest, that's great. It may save you months on a recovery turn, but we go on a stepwise progression. We work on motion first, then we work on strength, and then we get back into sport-specific activities.
If you want more information, go to osshealth.com. Today's professional skill tip will involve using one-handed shooting to bring balance and stability to the shot. I teach young players to balance the ball in one hand, in close, to establish a squared-up foundation when shooting. The one-hand shooting further out forces a player to stay square, reinforcing balance and lift on the shot. This one-handed emphasis will only help with leg power and the ball rolling off the one hand, developing more control and overall shot balance. The one-handed shooting is the fundamental tool I use to develop advanced shooters.
I'm thankful for the OSS trainers always being there to keep me in the game and on the field and help me pursue my lacrosse career outside of high school.
I'm going to Florida Southern College to play lacrosse. OSS trainers have taught us a lot about our bodies and keep them healthy, and that's going to help us get ready for collegiate sports.
OSS Health. Extraordinary care. Extraordinary athletes.
The Jet Giambavo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 4 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Genesis of York, and Giambavo Hyundai of Hanover. The Giambavo family dealerships. Over 30 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With a reputation for quality service after the sale. Giambavo is proud to serve your community. Find out why. The Jack Giambavo family of dealerships. 4 great locations. Online at giambavo.com.
CCA field trips make learning come alive.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance. If you're looking for a quality used vehicle at a great price,
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford has the best pre-owned inventory, not to mention the best hometown buying experience in all of Harrisburg. With our market-driven pricing, you can be sure you're always getting the best deal. Plus, we'll give you top dollar for your trade. And you know who's got Harrisburg's best deals?
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford, Colonial Park.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
This is the Jack Giambalvo Family of Dealerships halftime report with Fort Chapman. I'm Travis Sparks and the entire Invicta team from West Shore Stadium as the West Shore, the combined Cedar Cliff and Redland marching bands entertain the folks here both pregame and during halftime here. It's been certainly an interesting game thus far here from the standpoint of our players who were keys to the game early on. They brought it tonight. They've been putting up the good numbers, but when you dig down deep, it's penalties right now that are costing both teams.
Yes, it is.
With 2 touchdowns called back, Trenton Smith combining for both of them. As we take a look at the highlights here, it was scoring early on here for Redland as Roman Jensen, the quarterback, performing well here, and they ran quite a bit here, and then they decide to throw to the outside, and Parker Lawler gets the first touchdown.
Really impressed with that play for the Patriots to lead off the scoring.
Another look at that as Lawler, just a nice swerve move to the outside. Toronto can't get him, and it's a touchdown for Redland. And then 2 plays later, goodbye, Mr. Morris.
Look at the speed.
No one can catch him in the open field. 61 yards for the touchdown.
Another look at it. Look at the cut. See the cut there?
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
That'll be useful on a Saturday afternoon somewhere in college football land as Jonte Morris takes it in. He's over 100 yards on the night. Near our halftime numbers. And Morris, so far, he is 114 of those 129 yards on the Cedar Cliff side. Passing numbers are about where they expected them to be. So 188 total yards for Cedar Cliff, 133 for Redland, but the big number on the bottom, the penalties.
The turnover for Redland was a killer, but then it got called back due to the block in the back. And then down the turnover for Cedar Cliff, they're ready to go in the end zone.
So as we look at the second half here, as we get ready here at West Shore Stadium, a couple keys that we're thinking of. As far as penalties go, they got to keep them down, but if you're Cedar Cliff, keep feeding the beast, keep feeding Mr. Morris.
Absolutely. And if you're Redland, you have to be able to limit him from getting the big play. And in doing so, Cedar Cliff's going to try to spread out Redland and get some quick openers, and they can go the distance. On the other side of the ball, look for Redland, Travis, to mix the run and pass. And they've been doing a pretty good job of it. If they can get more accurate with their completions, they keep that Cedar Cliff defense off balance, they too can have some good productivity. Should be a very interesting second half.
Yeah, Roman Jensen, I got a chance to look at his Twitter account earlier today. Not only the picture with Peyton Manning, but a 4.0 GPA. He's a sophomore, and you want to see that when you're looking for trying to get to the next level and play on Saturday afternoon, maybe Sunday afternoon down the road. He's going to be a force to reckon with here in the Mid-Penn Keystone for the next 2 years.
I hear you.
We are at halftime, 7-7, Cedar Cliff and Redland from West Shore Stadium. We will come back. Third quarter action coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ferentinos.
And I'm Steve Ferentinos.
And we're the owners of Valley Bistro. Valley Bistro is a modern bistro located in Enola, Pennsylvania.
We're open 7 days a week from 7 to 2. We offer indoor and outdoor seating. We have the catering facility for all your needs.
We have been clients with Capital Region Insurance Agency for 2 years. When we first met Warren and Logan, we realized that we were undercovered. They were able to assess our needs and provide us with the proper coverage we needed for our restaurant. The program they provided us reduced our premiums and enhanced our coverage. They even went as far as to complete all the paperwork we needed, cancel our other policy, and make everything a completely smooth transition.
In our experience, we usually have used other agencies and it would take days and hours to get back to us, whereas with CRIA, they immediately get back to us within minutes. CRIA has the best customer service, and that's what separates them from other agencies in the area.
When you choose to go with CRIA, you're choosing to buy a promise that, God forbid anything would happen to your business, they will be right there for you. Shopping for insurance is never easy and usually a lengthy process, but when it comes to CRIA, they're the ones to get it done for you. Choose them, you won't regret it.
The Jet Giambavo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 4 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Genesis of York, and Giambavo Hyundai of Hanover. The Giambavo family dealerships. Over 30 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With a reputation for quality service after the sale. Giambavo is proud to serve your community. Find out why. The Jet Giambavo family of dealerships. 4 great locations. Online at giambavo.com.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rentals, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor, featuring Case Construction, paves the way for your project from start to finish. With 6 locations, Groff Tractor is always nearby your equipment needs. Groff Tractor also offers scheduled maintenance along with 24/7 emergency service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
CCA field trips make learning come alive.
So a while back, I thought to myself, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to have to rent forever. I didn't have money for a down payment. I had no credit history, and I just got out of a divorce. But PHFA showed me that home ownership is possible. They offer me a low-interest mortgage and a way to manage the closing cost. To me, this is more than just my home. It's a huge accomplishment and a new chapter in my life, thanks to PHFA.
Looking for the best selection of new and used Fords?
Hoffman has it.
Who has the lowest prices and payments?
Hoffman has it.
Where can you get the most for your trade?
Hoffman has it.
Brand new state-of-the-art facility, factory-trained technicians, on-site collision center, best parts and accessories department.
Do I really need to say it again? Visit us today and see for yourself. Hoffman Ford, Colonial Park.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
Today's Advanced Hoops tip will feature Duke McCamey, our post-training expert.
The miking drill is a foundational drill that I teach all young players that sign up for my class. This drill teaches players to finish around the basket while using proper footwork. It's important for players to use the right hand on the right side and the left hand on the left side. I teach players to shuffle their feet and get low while exploding into the layup. Squaring feet and squaring shoulders is the key to consistency and timing around the basket. The miking drill is a foundational drill for every young player to learn in my class.
I'm thankful for the OSS trainers always being there to keep me in the game and on the field and help me pursue my lacrosse career outside of high school.
I'm going to Florida Southern College to play lacrosse. OSS trainers have taught us a lot about our bodies and keep them healthy, and that's going to help us get ready for collegiate sports.
OSS Health. Extraordinary care. Extraordinary athletes.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
Today's Advanced Hoops tip will feature Archie Smith, our speed and agility expert.
The block jumping drill is meant to develop the fast twitch jumping muscles in a young player's legs. This drill forces a player to jump constantly and should be fast-paced while clearing the block every time. Players will develop explosive jumping skills doing this, and it trains a player's body to jump quicker and have the endurance needed to jump in game situations.
The block jumping drill is one fundamental a player will learn in my class.
Redland and Cedar Cliff tied at 7 as both teams come back onto the field. Let's tell you about some other games going around the area. Let's start up here in District 3, Harrisburg, who we saw win on High School Sports Live in overtime last Saturday, 20-17, in a game. If there were instant replay, Harrisburg would not have won because of the fumble and the fumble that was not called in the third down play of overtime. But then Hopkins on the fourth down play made it a 20-17 victory. Harrisburg down to Governor Mifflin 14-7 here in the second quarter. Cumberland Valley leads Carlisle 17-6 at the half. State College leads Chambersburg 24-6 at the half. And Wilson West Lawn up on Martin Luther King 23-0 in the second. Give some love to the York Adams League. Central and Red Lion, the game got canceled because of illness issues down in Red Lion, and Central has not been able to schedule an opponent yet. Other games, Dallastown leading Southwestern 28-14, Gettysburg over West York 21-7, Spring Grove up on Northeastern 34-7, a Northeastern team that beat Redland on the last-second field goal last week. York Catholic up on Littlestown 21-6, Suburban over Eastern 15-7, York over Dover 30-0 at the half. We'll have York a couple more times here on High School Sports Live this week, or this season rather. New Oxford and Susquehannock tied at 7 at the half. Bermudian Springs up on Hanover 20-7 in the second. And up north, a battle of two defending state champions, Wyoming area and Southern Columbia, and the Warriors lead the Tigers 24-7 at the half. We won't be talking Southern Columbia until about week 15, week 14 when it comes to state championships. But hopefully we'll get another team or two from District 3 get back into state championships at Hershey come early December. Back here at this game, let's give you some numbers early on here. Jensen, 3 for 10, 87 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Rushing-wise, he's been doing very well. He's got 7 carries on the night for 34 yards. Lawler with 11 carries, 43 yards. Pfeiffer with a carry for 3 yards, and Lawler, French, and Sklar all with a catch each. For Cedar Cliff, Durrell, 4 for 6, 59 yards, 2 rushes for 10 yards. Morris, 8 carries for 114 yards. Trenton Smith, 2 catches for 13 yards and a rush for a yard. Harmon with 4 yards and the fumble. Also Tirado with a catch for 13 yards, and the bumbling, I don't want to say rumbling and bumbling, but he was a rumbler, the fullback. Michael Armanini had a catch for 39 yards here in the first half. A little bit of an extended halftime here as the marching band performed, and then they have to put that 3 minutes extra on the clock. That's been recent that they put that extra 3 minutes on the clock. It was maybe about 10, 15 years ago that they put that extra time on to give players a guaranteed amount of time to get acclimated back to the field again, so they can stretch their legs and do what they need to get ready for the second half.
I'm really excited to see what happens here, Travis, in this third quarter. Really well fought football game. Both teams are playing hard. Mistakes on both sides of the field that have really cost their team, especially with Cedar Cliff on the block in the back on the interception, pick 6, and then down to the fumble down at the goal line. But prior to that fumble, the illegal procedure penalty put them back to the 6 instead of first and goal at the 1. It was first and goal at the 6.
So Redland, they won the toss and they took the kickoff, so it'll be Cedar Cliff receiving the kickoff here in the second half. A reminder of games coming up here on High School Sports Live on ABC 27.3 again next Thursday night over at Hershey Park Stadium, Cedar Cliff and Lower Dauphin. And then we follow it up with a Saturday afternoon contest at Steel High as Middletown and Steel High, next door neighbors, take to the field at Steel High on Saturday, October 2nd. That is a 1 o'clock start. Of course, schedule is subject to change. Keep an eye on hsslivetv.com for details on where we will be. And make sure you share and tell your friends about our great broadcasts that we have and the archive broadcasts on our YouTube page as well. So Feliciano ready to step it off and kick it off. As we get underway here in the second half. Good kick by Tirado. He'll take it to the 19 and barrels up to about the 38-yard line.
Late hit by number 83 from Redland. Well after the play, buried a Cedar Cliff player, and was noticed by the head referee at the last moment. No call. No, there's no need for that. Absolutely no need. You have to stop on the whistle, especially if you're on a special teams play that is the play's already over.
So now the discussion is where to mark things off from, and it is the
Brady Lighton is going to be from the spot foul. It's going to be 15 from there. Brady Lighton is a senior. You cannot afford to do that.
So up to the 47 is where it will be marked, and a first down here for Cedar Cliff, and the field just got a little shorter for them. Actually goes into Redland territory at the 47. Jonte Morris in the backfield with Ethan Durrell.
Expect to see this, feed this running back here on 1st and 10 and get him rolling.
Steps off to the left side. Flags come everywhere.
Really good gang tackle. Angles of pursuit. Very good defensive play by the Redland Patriots against the quick-footed back. Frank Gay's a defensive guy, the head coach of Redland. Linebacker himself, and it's holding against the Colts.
So a holding penalty. Marking it. So they'll mark it from the 45. He'll get 2 yards, but then you've got to mark it back a little more. So then it'll be first down and 18. Two men in a pistol.
7-man box for Redland.
Durrell looking right the whole way, and Trenton Smith can't come up with it, incomplete.
That's a long ball and a quick out route by the inside receiver to Smith. That ball was in the air for a long time. And just slightly missed the connection.
So it'll be second down from the 45. Far side is Isaiah Maisonette, number 18, along with Trenton Smith. In the backfield is Armanini. And Morris, nothing doing there, as a great backside pursuit there by Nate Smith, number 47. Only a yard for Morris. And it'll be third and very long.
Coach Gillen's trying to probe. 2 backs in the backfield there. Expect to see a spread set here. Even when you run your spread sets, it forces Redland to get more into coverage in their alignment. Run a spread set, you can still pop open that running back. When he's the only back in the backfield, Morris is so shifty and so athletic. Don't be surprised if they just go for the quick hitter. And he's up in front of the quarterback, so I doubt it.
Durrell
he's got him.
Wants it all, and just off the hands, incomplete. He wanted Maisonette.
Not an easy catch for Maisonette, but it was over his shoulder, but he did get both hands on it. And if he comes down with that,
I'm calling him Tyler Lockett after last week's catch that he made.
There you go.
So 4th and 17, and it'll be punt formation as Whitmer will be back to punt. And Redland will be
giving him too much room there, I think, in the punt returner. You're not going to be able to field this if you're back that deeply.
And it was marked dead at about the 30-yard line. So it ends up being about a 24-yard punt.
Now the roll doesn't count because it hit a Cedar Cliff coverage guy. As soon as that's the first touching roll, it's going to come back to where it was first touch if the ball goes anyway closer to the Redland goal line as it did. So Redland gets decent field position. Travis at the 30. They got a nice stop on, only gave up a minute and a half, got the ball back. 7-7 tie. The old adage, when you're an underdog, take the game into the second half. Give yourself a chance to win into the fourth quarter, and that's what Redland has done part of that right now. Empty set.
Jensen. Now the man in motion. Want to throw out to that man, and that's Lawler, who's had 65 yards of total offense so far here in the first half, and they'll give him another 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Just trying to, that's basically takes the place of the old school toss sweep. You're getting the ball out on a flare, you're blocking downfield, and trying to get an athlete the ball already out on the perimeter.
They give him an extra yard here to make it 3 yards, so 2nd and 7. Scoreboard says 6, it's actually 7, so 2nd and 7 as Pfeiffer now switches sides next to Jensen. Lawler goes in motion, and then they decide to go to Pfeiffer up the middle, and it's read beautifully by the front four of Cedar Cliff.
That jet sweep has to be a threat. They faked the jet sweep and ran the one back. Good defense by the Colts.
Clay Godino in on the tackle, 71. So Pfeiffer loses a yard, and it'll be 3rd and long. We didn't win the 50-50, bud. I would have had $500 towards my kids' college. Wide receivers, got 3 of them in this time. To fake the run to Pfeiffer. Jensen in trouble, wants to throw. He's gone. He had Sklar. And that's about the 3rd or 4th time tonight we've seen receivers drop it after touching it with both hands.
It's good to see number 4 back on the field after that injury earlier in the first half. Punting situation for the Patriots.
So 4th down. Comes the punt from Feliciano, and straight up in the air. And it doesn't get back to midfield. 17 yards on the kick. And they'll mark it up to the 18. Make it 18 yards to the 50. So it'll be 1st down again for Cedar Cliff.
Not a good possession for Redland, and not a good punt. Turning the momentum over to Cedar Cliff. They have the ball exactly at midfield, as Travis said, and they're going to go to a loose slot, high backfield, quarterback in shotgun.
Give to Morris. 4 yards. And is it me, or does every time Morris have the ball, he runs it between the tackles, right behind the center? It's a staple play that they use. It's like, here it is, come and get it.
Sure. And he had a lead blocker there too, so he's trying to follow his lead blocker like the old school eye tailbacks have done for decades. You don't see it much anymore. This is the set I like. Right here, they have a blocker in the trip set here in the slot. He may go in motion, may not. I'd like to see the handoff here. Give this. Oh, we have offensive movement on the right tackle. Big number 75 for the Colts.
So they'll move it back 5 yards.
Lucas Andrzejewski.
So back onto the Cedar Cliff side of things at the 49.
You see those big offensive tackles from Cedar Cliff. Reminds me of the former Cedar Cliff Colt in the mid-'80s, Chris Sumoff, the big offensive tackle.
4 wides again. Now Morris switches spots. Durrell, and they run the left. Now up the middle. There's Morris.
There he
outruns
goes.
1, outruns 2, and needs 5 men on the Redland side to tackle him before he gets to the 27. Give him 24 yards and a first down.
Another big Cedar Cliff two-way performer on the line. Tyler Lenda went to Penn State. Very good football player in the late 90s. Cedar Cliff's had their fair share of quality linemen. And the offensive line opened up a hole right there. Look at that. You always have to be aware of Dante Morris. Old school wing set to the right. Wing motion to the slot.
Center Gabe Cucker, 52. He'll snap it. And
Nice pass.
And a pass out to Armanini. Can he run over a couple more people? No. Patrick with the stop on the far side. Out to about the 20-yard line, but good yardage there. 7 on the play. It'll be 3 yards to go.
Bob Craig would be proud of that offensive formation and execution. He called that play many times. Good ISO fake. Hit the tight end out in the flat. Tight end used to run a little more of a flag route, and the wing back would go out in the flat for Cedar Cliff staple play back in the day, but something very similar there. Same set, just the opposite side.
Morris
on the counter.
Finds room to the
Tailback
10,
counter, good
to the
legs.
5, to the 3. Another first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal now from the 3.
Protect the football if you're Cedar Cliff right now. If you're in that huddle, you're telling, hey guys, we got to protect the football and don't go early. Wait for the count. Here's the replay of it. Finding that hole. Really nice hole opening up, and good extra effort by Morris.
From the 3.
We know who's getting the football. Motion, coming back. Look to the ISO to the left side here. I'm looking for here. Yep, there it is.
And there he goes, touchdown. Jonte Morris. 3 yards on the run. He had 43 yards. They got 47 yards of the 50 yards on the drive. And a touchdown for Cedar Cliff. So make it 162 yards on the night, and both touchdowns for Cedar Cliff.
Very well executed drive. Nice blocking on the point of attack there for the Colts.
Whitmer's kick is up and good. Cedar Cliff 14, Redland 7. Third quarter action continues on ABC 27.3.
So a while back, I thought to myself, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to have to rent forever. I didn't have money for a down payment. I had no credit history, and I just got out of a divorce. But PHFA showed me that home ownership is possible. They offer me a low-interest mortgage and a way to manage the closing cost. To me, this is more than just my home. It's a huge accomplishment and a new chapter in my life, thanks to PHFA.
Five-play, 50-yard drive took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Jonte Morris with the bulk of that yardage. Armanini also there with a catch. Overcame a false start penalty early in the drive, and it's a 14-7 lead for Cedar Cliff. Here's the kick. Taken on the run by Sklar at the 20 to the 25, up to about the 30-34-yard line. And Redland takes over from there. Last drive that Redland had, 2 passes, 1 run, but they only netted 2 yards on it and was forced to punt. Like if you don't count the last drive of the first half, the last drives of the first half, punt, fumble, interception. So other than the first drive, Redland has been held scoreless. And here's the slant pattern to Sklar.
He held on to that one.
Up to the 47-yard line. 13 yards and a first down.
Quick fake and delivery on the slant route, nicely executed.
Jensen on the night, 5 for 13, 103 yards. Has an interception.
Interesting set here. If they stay in a set and don't motion, don't be surprised if we see a run to the left to that wing.
Jensen, and that's a fumble. And that's a scoop and a score. It's going to go 38 yards and a touchdown for KC Robinson.
No penalties on that one for the defensive turnover, pick up and score on the fumble. Really nice aggression by the Cedar Cliff defense to get to the quarterback just as he's ready to throw it. His arm was not going forward. Didn't look like. They'd have been better off handing the ball to that wing side. Big pressure by the Colts. Way to be alert, number 31, KC Robinson, for the scoop and score.
So defense comes alive here for Cedar Cliff, and that's 2 turnovers on the night for Redland. Whitmer on to try another extra point. Cedar Cliff is short a man. Or are they short a football? They're looking over to the sideline.
They don't need a football. Somebody throws football out there. They need a player, and nobody's running out.
There we go. Andrzejewski coming out now.
Take the delay.
5,
don't call a timeout.
4,
you don't want to wait. Just take your
3,
time. Take a delay.
2,
it's no big deal.
1, and they snapped it right as the flag came out.
Rule of thumb, you never want to waste a timeout on an extra point, unless it's right at the end of the game and you don't want to use them. Just take a delay, snap the ball from the Cedar Cliff players were yelling that we need another guy for 20 seconds, and nobody ran out. That's your chance. If you're a sophomore or something, you don't get in the football game, stand there with somebody, run out. Give yourself a chance to play the game.
All right, Durrell counts 11 guys on the field. Whitmer puts it through, and it's a 14-point game for Cedar Cliff. 21-7, Colts up on the Patriots. High school football, high school sports live at ABC 27.3.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Capital Region Insurance Agency, 717-731-1142.
Erie Insurance.
Will KC Robinson's fumble return be the Capital Region Insurance Agency play of the game? You can find out during our Hoffman Ford post-game report. We'll also have the Hoffman Ford player of the game coming up here following the conclusion of tonight's game. 21-7 following the defensive gem by KC Robinson. Here's the kick, and Lawler had room, but then it's stopped quickly here. Good job by Nathan Lusk on the tackle. And Redland will try again from the 32.
If you're Redland, you're down 14, but you can get within one score with one drive. But they got to do a better job of mixing run and pass. And when they run the football, they were getting some serious yardage in the first half and staying ahead of the chains. They got to establish some type of running game here on this double tight, double flanker set.
Jensen, it looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
Cedar Cliff's just putting their ears back up front and pressuring the quarterback. You'll limit their rush if you can establish some type of running game. Much easier said than done sometimes. But they were doing it in the first half, Travis, and they had the Cedar Cliff defense not sure whether run or pass was coming.
They've run 35 offensive plays, 14 passes, 21 runs. Jensen has 8 of those runs, Lawler with 11 of them. And they come out in a 3-receiver set with Pfeiffer. Actually, another receiver in motion as Lawler goes up the middle and gets to about the 35. Malachi Santana is now the fullback in number 22.
That was Pfeiffer in motion. So now you're 3rd and 7. You have to move the chains here. That slant pass has worked for you. A couple times, Redland, just balls on the money. Balls are dropped on 3rd down twice now. And you have to move the chains here. You don't want to go down. Give the ball to Cedar Cliff in decent field position, down by 2 scores here as the 3rd quarter winds down.
French to the near side, Sklar, Patrick, and Lawler to the far side. And the ball is dropped, and it's going to be a sack. Is it a fumble recovery? And a fumble recovery, and it's Cedar Cliff ball.
So many teams go on the shotgun, and you've got to have the snap. I mean, it's just simple. That's as obvious can get, but the snap here, it's there, close enough. You can't take your eyes off the snap. The snap wasn't a little bit to the side, but the quarterback's got to have that. You don't want to look up too. A lot of guys are expected to get the ball and look up early because you're with your offense, you sometimes have to get that ball out quickly, and there's been a lot of pressure from Cedar Cliff, which can alter the quarterback's ability to see the ball, and we're going to go for the home run.
From the 29, it hit him between the 3 and the 1. They wanted Robinson.
He tried to jump a little bit to catch that instead of just being relaxed on the reception. He rose up a little bit. You'll see the replay here. Had his thumbs together, all about helmet height. Just tried to jump a little bit instead of bringing that in, and that can happen.
And the collective groan went up from everybody here on the near side. So 2nd down from the 29. It was a good play fake to Morris. You probably have
to see Morris here. I think we're going to see Morris on an ISO here. Yes, we are.
And met at the line of scrimmage, bounces off and gets 3 yards.
Nothing wrong with that. You're in 4 down territory. A little bit outside your field goal, typical field goal range. Not that you couldn't try one. If you get down to around the 23, be a 40-yarder, and I think he has the leg, number 10 for Cedar Cliff, their kicker, Whitmer. But right now, 2 scores, look for 4 down territory. Gives you 2 downs to get this 7 yards.
Torado to the near side. Nathan Lusk among the receivers to the far side, including Smith and Whitmer. They give to Morris. Morris bobbled it, got it back, and only made it up to the 25. That's a yard, and it'll be 4th and 6. Morris, 15 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night.
Let's see what Coach Gillen elects to do here on 4th and 6. I would imagine he's going to go to the air. Four wideouts here.
Do the same formation. Now they bring back in Maisonette.
Double safety for Redland. There is an opening there to the right side to 3 receivers. Look for him to go there.
Durrell
crossing route, he's got him.
And he's got Trenton Smith. And it's 1st and goal.
When you keep the 2 high safety look for Redland, it's not a bad defense, but it opens up some gaps on some uncovered receivers, especially that 3 receiver side, and Cedar Cliff took advantage of it right here. You see the 3rd receiver in, just work himself down the middle of the field. And there are openings there, and very good job of the Cedar Cliff quarterback, Durrell, to make the connection.
And good for Smith, the play counted. It's 1st and goal.
That's right.
He's had 2 touchdowns called back on penalties as Morris runs up the middle to the 2, and a flag comes in late. And a hold on Cedar Cliff.
Think of some of the tailbacks we've had, Cedar Cliff has had here over the years. Kyle Lane, the great state champion sprinter. You have Vorkapich in 91. Coy Wire, we mentioned earlier, in 93, 4, 5, and 6. Sam Brindley, when Coy Wire was a young freshman and sophomore, phenomenal football player on that 94 Cedar Cliff team. Timeout.
We have Sklar, who was hurt, but now is trotting back out to the field. So the holding penalty marks it back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and goal from the 19. That's the 2nd time Sklar's been down tonight, but it looked like it was a cramp, and he trotted out under his own power. So they're giving the both sides a water break. It is still humid out here.
Let's not forget, I know I'm firing some names off the top of my head. Let's not forget Bob Damon from 87, and multiple-year player, but really good linebacker and running back that went to Penn State. He was the running back on Cedar Cliff's first district title team of 87. Had some back issues in college, but what a football player. And now we have number 29, who can really make things happen.
Jonte Morris.
You better believe it.
He's going to block this time as they go to the air to Tirado, incomplete. And one-on-one, Patrick with the defense.
Good defense here. Didn't see the ball, but he saw the man go up for the ball. Played the ball once it was there. A lot of defenders do that. They lose sight of the ball because the offensive player is even with them. Really nice job there. When their hand goes up, your hands go up. Deflected it. Solid corner play.
Durrell 6 for 11, 83 yards. Three receiver set again, and this time man in motion. Morris. Flag again. A good comparison I can give Morris here is during his Steelers days, Le'Veon Bell, where he would just wait for the blocks, just wait patiently, and then find the hole and boom.
What number did Bell wear?
26.
I thought it was close to 29. Yep, 26. Okay.
Bell, a free agent. Nobody's picked him up.
Knocks the Colts out of field goal. A field goal would pretty much put a serious issue for Redland being down 3 scores. Now they're out of field goal range. 2nd and goal from just inside the 30.
Durrell.
Screen.
Under pressure and touched by about 4 different players, and it's incomplete.
A little crossing under route for about a 2 or 3 yard gain. You want a lot of after the catch is what you're looking for. Yardage after the catch. Get the receiver to catch it in front of the coverage and turn up field. It was tough to complete there. There were some defenders around. A lot of clogged up area there with offensive linemen and defenders, and it fell incomplete.
Tanner Herman on the initial rush, and Durrell limping ever so slightly. The 4 receiver set again with Morris to his right side. And under pressure from Pfeiffer, and Durrell goes down and finished by French.
Very fortunate he didn't lose that football. It was out there. Durrell had it out there, and the first hit, he had it hanging in his right arm, and good job by him to just hold the football. And right now you probably want to punt. Being out the 35-yard line and just put Redland in a bind, put them back inside their 20 and make them drive 80.
Under a minute to go here. If I'm Whitmer, I try and coffin corner this one.
Redland punt returner standing on his own 5.
And it goes into the end zone. So 39 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's been a very quiet 3rd quarter for Redland. Meanwhile, a great job by Cedar Cliff. Morris with a 3-yard touchdown run, and then 2 plays later, fumble return of 38 yards by Casey Robinson to make it 21-7.
Credit to Cedar Cliff defense this 3rd quarter.
Yes.
Really putting pressure on the quarterback, not giving up any big plays on the ground, and taking advantage of turnovers, 1 for a pick and score.
Only 17 yards of offense and 2 turnovers for Redland. And a
Legal
flag.
Procedure on the offensive line.
So now it'll be 1st and 15 from the 15.
Oh, they're going to call offsides on the defense. Interesting.
Interesting. So now make it 1st and 5 from the 25. Clock does not move yet after the penalty. So back to a 4-receiver set for the Patriots. Jensen flushed out.
Nothing wrong with that. Positive yardage. You're getting over 5 yards. You got a first down.
Hunter Gar said Claude Godino on the tackle, but 5 yards on the play, and it's a first down for Redland.
Take what the defense gives you if you're Redland. Get yourself a drive here. You've got 70 yards to pay dirt. It's very important that you score on this drive. And they're going to get one more play, it looks like, before the quarter ends.
Only the second first down of the quarter for Redland. Play clock at 7:06. They don't have to snap it, but they're going to. Over the middle, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Ricardo Harmon. To the 5, to the 3, and he's down at the 1. So Cedar Cliff forces 3 turnovers in the third quarter. All the way down to the 1. We'll switch ends, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 when we continue. Colts looking to put it away, up 21-7 on Redland on ABC 27.3.
So a while back, I thought to myself, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to have to rent forever. I didn't have money for a down payment. I had no credit history, and I just got out of a divorce. But PHFA showed me that home ownership is possible. They offer me a low-interest mortgage and a way to manage the closing cost. To me, this is more than just my home. It's a huge accomplishment and a new chapter in my life, thanks to PHFA.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford makes it easy to find the new or used Ford you're looking for. Search hundreds of new and used vehicles right at your fingertips. You can even get pre-approved by applying online. Plus, chat live or text a real person to answer any questions you have. Start your shopping at HoffmanFord.com. We make it easy.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
So a bad luck play there for Redland as they get the play off before the end of the quarter. Parker Lawler was the intended receiver, and he cramped up on the play there. He's finally coming off there. He spent the entire quarter break there. Here's the replay. It was intended for him, and he cramped up right there. There you see him falling, and there's Ricardo Harmon.
Great play by Harmon.
He gets it all the way down to about the 1, so he avenges the mistake that he made in the first half where he fumbled right before the half, and he creates a turnover. And now the whole world waits for Morris to score.
Harmon read that very well.
And Morris is in, touchdown. One play, 2 yards, 6 seconds. And 3 touchdowns now for Jonte Morris.
Cedar Cliff really came out this second half so far and just executed both sides of the football, limited Redland's productivity on offense, and took advantage of miscues by Redland to really get a commanding lead here by 21 points. As that ball hits the upright and goes in.
Off the upright, and it almost hits Josh in the feet, our cameraman. He's all right, and Cedar Cliff's all right. 28-7 as we head to break here on ABC 27.3.
Groff Tractor is your full-line equipment dealer representing Case Construction and many other leading brands, serving the total sales, rentals, parts, and service needs of its customers. Groff Tractor, featuring Case Construction, paves the way for your project from start to finish. With 6 locations, Groff Tractor is always nearby your equipment needs. Groff Tractor also offers scheduled maintenance along with 24/7 emergency service. Groff Tractor is your #1 source for everything under construction.
We are happy to report the Capital Region Insurance Agency has protected all of our cameramen from flying footballs here, regardless of whether they are thrown or kicked. Our man Josh in the end zone is all right, and Whitmer's going to try and aim for him again. 28-7 lead here for the Colts as Redland takes it from the 11, ahead of steam, up the middle, and look out. Blake Burnside takes it all the way to the 22.
That's one setup that could not have this game clinched with this 21-point Colt lead as a kickoff return. Almost to pay dirt, puts them just outside the red zone. Phenomenal field position for the Patriots. If they can take advantage of this and score quickly, they'll have around 10 minutes to go, play good defense, you never know.
So mark it officially a 63-yard return up to the 27. Jensen on the night, 5 for 15, 103 yards and 2 interceptions. Pfeiffer now moves up to a tight end slot. Looks right. And Sklar, he's back on the field again, but he can't grab a hold of it, incomplete.
Quick wide receiver screen under route by the outside receiver. Just a little miscue, almost completed.
Sklar on the night with 2 catches for 62 yards. They've targeted him about 5-6 times. And that front four of Cedar Cliff doing a very good job tonight of pressuring Jensen and not giving him a whole lot of time in the back. Jensen throws quick again, and it's caught this time. Looked like 2 receivers were in the area. Kyler Ream this time. As Anderson French was also over there. It's a gain of 7. And 3rd and 3 coming up for the Patriots. We tick under 11 minutes here as Redland with the 3 wide set to the far side.
Bunch trips out here. They're going to go out.
They're going to go
the other way. Nice play.
And it's Lawler to the 5, to the 4. Does he reach?
He was in. He hit the pylon. I'm going to call it a touchdown, but the ref was out of position a little bit there, and he's going to call it down inside the 1. Very well designed going to the weak side, Travis. The running back out of the backfield, down the sidelines to the single receiver set. Put right on the money. Good pass and catch, and run after the catch.
First time tonight that Jensen has hit on 2 consecutive throws. Lawler now with 3 catches for 44 yards.
You got to hustle. You got to hustle. You're wasting valuable time here when you're first and goal inside the 1.
And it's going to be a push, and he's in. Nate Smith, the fullback, with a little help to Jensen, and it is a touchdown for Redland.
When you're behind by 3 scores in the 4th quarter, you can't play around. Those 10, 15 seconds are valuable. And the Patriots do get in. They can cut it to 14 here with the extra point.
Feliciano on to try the extra point. This was all set up by a wonderful 63-yard kickoff return by Blake Burnside. 2 out of 3 passing for Jensen. Feliciano's kick. It makes it inside the right upright. It is good. 10.5 left to go here, 4th quarter. And the lead is cut in half for Cedar Cliff. 28-14 on ABC 27.3.
I'm thankful for the OSS trainers always being there to keep me in the game and on the field and help me pursue my lacrosse career outside of high school.
I'm going to Florida Southern College to play lacrosse. OSS trainers have taught us a lot about our bodies and keep them healthy, and that's going to help us get ready for collegiate sports.
Cedar Cliff has won the last 8 matchups between these 2 schools. It was 2012 the last time that Redland won, and it was in overtime, 35-28. They're going to have to match that score if they want to win tonight, 28-14.
Good point there, Travis.
Cedar Cliff up on Redland, and they've got 10 and a half to go here. And it's a squib kick. It's taken at the 40 to the 45. They didn't want the ball in Trenton Smith's hands. Instead, they go to Ethan Ziegler.
You may as well kick an onside kick there if you're going to, do that. Frank Gay in his second stint here, as we mentioned earlier in the telecast, that's Redland head coach. In his first stint in 2006, Redland is an 8 seed. Ran through the competition and were district champs. Had a phenomenal season and a really good run. And way back in 2006, and Frank Gay then went a few years later, became the head coach at Camp Hill, and now he's back as the head man on the Redland sidelines.
Jonte Smith gets the ball, led by Armanini, excuse me, the fullback. He gets 3 yards, 2 yards maybe. So 2nd and 6 to go here as Morris has averaged 10 yards a carry tonight, 17 for 172. His touchdown runs were 61, 3, and 2 yards. We see Cedar Cliff next week against Lower Dauphin Thursday night here on ABC 27.3 and High School Sports Live as Morris busts it to the outside.
Well executed play, really good up front blocking on the line of scrimmage by the Colts. Governor Mifflin has gone up 28-13 over Harrisburg.
Big matchup out in Berks County tonight.
They completed a 4th down touchdown pass to give them a 2-score lead. Looks like Cedar Cliff would have under center again. Look for them to just really pound this rock here and chew clock. Oh, he's going to pass it flat right in again. Same play as before.
Oh, but a holding penalty is going to probably
bring it all back.
Yeah, there's Armanini. He's going to go in, but that's going to be a 3rd touchdown called back for penalty tonight.
Right when you think they're going to start pounding that tailback, really heads up play. Very good play action, but in the backfield, hauling the offensive lineman, hauling that DN down, and that's going to be a spot foul, which is going to be more than 13 or 14-yard penalty variety. Take the ball back just in front of midfield, Travis, which is going to bring up 1st and 24, it looks like. Yeah, they spotted the 49.
So 3 touchdowns tonight called back for penalty for Cedar Cliff.
2 really helped spring the play. The first one on the pick 6, been better if nobody blocked.
Right.
Redland jamming the line of scrimmage. 7 guys in the box.
Morris gets it to about the 43, 6 yards on the carry. Safe to say he's going to get the ball a couple more times and go over 200 yards on the night.
Even if you don't score, if you're Cedar Cliff, chewing clock can be huge. The clock's down under 9 minutes. Every time you run and stay in bounds, it's a win for your team if you're up, because you're up 14 points.
Durrell looks back at Morris, making sure he's set.
Counter.
He gets it. Get it to about the 30, and that puts him over 200 yards on the night. $20 for 203, and a flag has just been sideline warning against.
Okay, no big deal.
Against Cedar Cliff, so yeah, it's not a penalty, it's just a violation.
That run was really big because it puts them in a very manageable situation here. Clock's going to start back up. If you're Cedar Cliff, you want to let that clock wind and snap it under 5 seconds, and you have 2 downs to get 6 yards. As it's 3rd and 6 from outside the 30.
From the pistol. Durrell back up the middle again, and this is a different running back this time for Cedar Cliff, as Evan Ziegler.
Ziegler's only a sophomore, did a nice job picking up 5 yards, and they're going to need it. They're going to need 1 yard here on 4th and 1. If they get it, they could chew another 3 minutes off the clock with that running game if they so choose. So Redland, this is a must situation to stop this 4th and 1. If Frank Gay's squad wants to give themselves a chance to win this football game.
Jonte Morris back, dotting the I. Durrell with Armanini behind him, and they're going to run it, and it's a 1st down.
Thought I'd see Redland in a some type of short yardage goal line defense there. They had twin safeties back there, which gives you only 7 in the box. Cedar Cliff's going to take advantage of that and move those chains. You have to gamble if you're Redland there. Get 9 in the box and bring pressure, cover every gap, and hope you can limit them to less than a yard.
300 yards of offense tonight, make it 301 to 176 total yards. Morris with 202 of those yards. 1st down from the 24s. We're under 7 minutes to go.
Get in the box, Redland, and try to force them to pass.
4-man line, 2 linebackers. Morris again, shifts left, met at the 20.
Not bad defense there, but too much. That's 4 yards. Clock down to 6.5 minutes.
Again, this is Redland's only appearance so far on High School Sports Live. We'll have Cedar Cliff next Thursday night taking on Lower Dauphin at Hershey Park Stadium. That's a Thursday night game, 7 o'clock. Join us at hsslivetv.com and on ABC 27.3. And don't forget, these games are archived on our YouTube channel as well.
Try to gang tackle and strip the football.
Morris. 20, 15, 14. Flag on the play.
Looked like a potential holding call. Originally, no call was made. Now we have another flag. It's like some verbal talking. Let's see it here. Oh, that is on Cedar Cliff. He did smack him a little bit after, but then we had a late flag well after the play that came from the area of the Cedar Cliff huddle. So if this is the case, my guess is it's going to be half the distance against, actually both on Cedar Cliff. So could end up being a 30-yard penalty if.
Yeah, we have personal foul on sportsmanlike conduct on Redland, personal foul on sportsmanlike conduct on Cedar Cliff, and they both call the whole thing.
There's going to say both ways, nothing, and let's play 3rd down and 1 here. Dead ball fouls.
The only thing it counts for is the unsportsmanlike conduct against the player. If they have 2, they're out for the next game and out for the rest of this game.
And we've had several of those tonight, Travis. Offsetting, so it's four different, 2 players on each team.
1 to go. Morris makes it goal to go down to the 5-yard line. So 1st down and goal to go, as Cedar Cliff tries to put this one away and make it 9 consecutive wins over Redland.
Really nice, just blocking at the line of scrimmage, taking care of the football. Outstanding running by the fleet-footed tailback, and your 1st and goal.
There's Morris again, spins one way, tries to get out of Nate Smith's tackle and cannot. He gets to the 3.
Cedar Cliff's going to go into a short yardage offensive set here with bring another big skill guy in, brought out a receiver.
You got Casey Robinson in at a tight end. They're going to have Armanini. Morris dots the I. Fake to him. They want to go to Armanini. Wide open in the flat. Touchdown.
Very well executed on that counter pass. Ran that play 3-4 times tonight. Was wide open once again. Very difficult to defend when the team's running the football at you like that.
First touchdown pass tonight for Durrell. Durrell had 6 touchdown passes the first 2 weeks. Did not have a touchdown pass last week, so he's got 7 on the season now. And Whitmer with his 5th extra point on the night. It is good. And the lead is 35-14, Cedar Cliff over Redland. 4 to go on ABC 27.3.
All across Pennsylvania, families are living their lives in their own homes. Not long ago, none of these families believed it possible. And then they discovered there was someone who could help. What was once only a dream is now a reality. Welcome home.
Thank you, Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, our premier sponsor of High School Sports Live here on ABC 27. Our post-game report will be presented by Hoffman Ford. They also present the player of the game, Hoffman Ford, and the Capital Region Insurance Agency play of the game. We got a lot to choose from as far as play of the game. Player of the game, I think that was sewed up with that last drive. Whitmer with the squib kick this time. It's taken at the 31 by Lawler up to the 39-yard line. So it'll be first down from the 40-yard line. As the extra point goes up on the board this time. Modern technology, we actually have a camera set up on the scoreboard, so whatever the scoreboard shows, that's what's on our bottom line. That's why it showed 34 for the longest time, but then they put the point up just now at 35. From the 40 for Redland as they bring out 4 receivers again. Back to throw is Jensen. He's been pressured all night. Now he throws, and Pfeiffer with a nice catch down to about the 40 to the 37.
Making something out of a nothing for the Redland offense. Good feet by the quarterback, Jensen. Bided his time and looked downfield and found somebody right when he threw it right from the line of scrimmage.
So 5 different receivers tonight for Jensen. 8 for 19, 152 yards. As Sklar comes here to the near side along with Josh Patrick. Jensen brought down. Lowered by Hunter Garcid. And down to about the 44-yard line. Excuse me.
And they're giving the ball to Cedar Cliff on the fumble.
So a fumble recovery and another turnover by Redland, and it is Cedar Cliff ball. So Jensen with another turnover. That's 4 turnovers tonight for Redland that Cedar Cliff has forced. So they'll take over on the 44-yard line and first down for Cedar Cliff. New personnel in now as Evan Ziegler once again is back in to run the ball, a 2-yard run. He's 2nd down and 8. Redland calls timeout. They've got 2 left. Taking a timeout to take care of clock stoppage, plus give a water break to everybody. New personnel all around in for Cedar Cliff.
Give a chance, a few minutes for these younger players to get on the field and get a few varsity snaps. Always a thrill. Even players who are upperclassmen who don't get to see the field much.
Bennett Sechrist, a freshman, in at quarterback.
He's going to give the ball to that big that tailback in front of that big fullback blocker. You could rest assured of that.
And they both converged.
Each other.
And the two defenders for Redland knew that one was coming. Kerry Riker.
It was a slow developing play. Both quarterback and tailback run into each other, and fortunately for Cedar Cliff, they held on to the football.
So 3rd and long as they continue to shuffle personnel in and out. Parker Tarnacci comes out. Brady Wagner, Elijah Wilborn in. I got players shuffled in and out. Daniel Schrader coming out.
Pretty much an illegal substitution there.
And a flag.
Delay a game. If that was regular, if that was during a regular part in the game where the game was in contested still, they would have thrown that for illegal substitution. Cedar Cliff had 12 on the field for quite a long time.
So they marked that back to the 34. Don't forget, we're with you Thursday night. Cedar Cliff at Lower Dauphin. 7 o'clock kick time from legendary Hershey Park Stadium. We'll be with you here on High School Sports Live on ABC 27.3 and HSSLiveTV.com. Incomplete pass as Sechrist was looking for Daniel Schrader.
Going deep on 3rd and long down those sidelines. Nice coverage by the Patriots. Bring up a punting situation.
So Whitmer will make an appearance once again to punt. It'll be 4th and 20. Here's the punt. And everybody yells, get away, and it's 48-yard line of Redland, and that's where they will take over. 2:05 left to go here in the 4th quarter as Cedar Cliff is comfortably in front. Hoffman Ford postgame show coming up following these last 2:05 with the Hoffman Ford Player of the Game, Capital Region Insurance Agency Play of the Game, and our postgame analysis coming up here on ABC 27.3. Lower Dauphin has defeated Mifflin County 21-3. Jake Kaufman with 3 touchdowns. And young Charlie Fortney, 5 catches, 65 yards on the night as Jensen goes to French to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 7. So Cedar Cliff and Lower Dauphin both with victories tonight. They will face off against each other Thursday night here on High School Sports Live on ABC 27.3. Don't forget all your highlights tonight on ABC 27 at 11:15 with John, Logan, Allie, and Damon. 25th season of Friday Night Football, started by our great friend, the late Greg Mace, here on ABC 27. Jensen runs up into the pocket, runs into trouble, and is dropped with a 2-yard loss.
There's that Cedar Cliff front four again, pressuring the passing game of Redland. They've done a really nice job, especially in the second half.
Jensen throws it out to French and close to a first down. He's got it. 5-yard run. So 6-yard pass there. Jensen, he's completed his last 5. Now at 158 yards passing. Had 500 yards passing exactly in his first 2 games. Had 2 touchdowns last week in their last second loss against Northeastern. Jensen. Sklar for 9.
Good passing catch there for 9 yards. And what's good, they're using the sidelines very well, so they're getting out of bounds and saving some time here. Obviously, it's too little too late, but you got a lot of young players on this Redland squad. You got to like to battle and play till the final whistle and just keep trying to get experience and get better. It's what it's all about when you're trying to rebuild your program, as Frank Gay's trying to do.
Play clock down to 10. Maybe try and reorganize everybody. Everybody's got to get set before you snap it. Down to 3-2. Jensen gets it off. Running for his life and running nowhere. Alexander Sanders Jr. with the tackle, with the sack. It's going to be 2nd and long as we'll tick under 1 minute here to go. From the 38. Another bad snap. Jensen incomplete, looking for Pfeiffer.
We talked about Redland's 2006 district title. Redland also had one heck of a football team in 1981. The year before the district playoffs, the year before the Mid-Penn Conference, they were the last ever Capital Area Conference champions. Their record was 10-0-1, led by quarterback Brant Cook. Had a really nice football team, ran the veer very well, good defense, coached by very good football coach Jim Page.
So 4th and 6. Last chance here for Redland to keep things going at 55 seconds left to go. Excuse me. Jensen. Underneath. That's Lawler. He gets out of it, gets a first down to the 30, out to the 28. So Redland keeps it.
That season in 81, Travis, was the last season ended when the regular season ended in our area in District 3. And on this field, the last game of the regular season was a Redland team against the Mechanicsburg Wildcats, who only at that point had one loss to 11-0 Carlisle, first game of the year. Finished 27-25, Redland won as Mechanicsburg scored and tried to give a play to Ryan Priest on the 2-point conversion to our right of the press box. The snap was dropped by sophomore quarterback Sean Abner, and Redland was victorious 27-25.
Jensen, pass is complete, about 7 yards on the game. That's French again.
Big touchdown on in that game was a veer play to Walt Marriott, the running back for the Redland Patriots, as they pulled off the Capital Area Conference championship. The last Capital Area Conference championship.
Jensen approaching 200 yards. He's at 190.
One-on-one coverage outside, Travis. Look for the home run outside here, one-on-one if he wants it.
He's going to go to the right side this time, and it's a complete. That's Kyle Ream, his 2nd catch of the night. To the 17, that's 4 yards and just enough for a first down.
He has Anderson French sophomore wideout with good height, having a big height advantage here, one-on-one if he wants to go for the home run on 1st and 10 with 34 ticks remaining.
They switch sides, does everybody.
Hustle to get this off.
Down to 4-3. Jensen. Pass batted down, incomplete. Down to 30 seconds. 14 for 27 on the night so far for 194 yards for Jensen. From the 18-yard line. French and Ream to the right side. Sklar and Lawler to the left side. Jensen goes right side, incomplete. Some other individual numbers for Cedar Cliff. Durrell is going to end up 7 for 13 with a touchdown, 86 yards. Morris, 23 catches, over 220 yards tonight. Trenton Smith, only 30 total yards. He did a lot more than that. Unfortunately, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet. And Armanini, 3 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Jensen wants the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Lawler.
And he took the quarterback for Redland. The sophomore took a serious shot. Admire the toughness there. Tough football player to complete that pass, taking the shot he took. He's getting help off the field as he wobbles off there.
So that's over 200 yards on the night for Jensen. For Lawler, it's 5 catches for 72 yards. And he had the other touchdown, the first touchdown for Redland, so he's over 100 total yards tonight. 117 unofficially. Feliciano to try the point after, and then will be onside kicking. Kick is good. 20 seconds left to go. 35-21 Colts over the Patriots on ABC 27.3.
CCA field trips make learning come alive.
Cedar Cliff leading Redland here with 20.5 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. 259 total yards for Redland tonight, 315 for Cedar Cliff. Again, we'll see Cedar Cliff 6 nights from tonight at Hershey Park Stadium as they take on Lower Dauphin. Thursday night, 7 o'clock here on ABC 27.3 and HSSLiveTV.com. The roughing the passer penalty that you talked about, it was a penalty and it's now enforced on the kickoff, so they'll take it from the Cedar Cliff 45-yard line, and odds are we're going to see an onside kick here. Feliciano will step it off. The squib, and a very nice job by Cedar Cliff, and that's Armanini who recovers the onside kick, and one kneel down, and we will be done with tonight's game. from the 36. Cedar Cliff with one last chance. Rather, one last snap, rather. So Seacrest takes a knee, and that'll do it. Both teams will come to the center of the field, congratulate themselves, and Cedar Cliff for the 9th consecutive year claims West Shore Stadium for themselves over Redland. Final score 35-21. We'll take a break. We'll have the Hoffman Ford postgame show, Capital Region Insurance Agency play of the game, the Hoffman Ford player of the game, all coming up next here on ABC 27.3.
Groff Tractor.
Customer convenience and world-class service?
Hoffman has it.
Our staff is here to prove it, and our customer reviews say it all. Regardless of where you purchased, Hoffman can provide warranty repairs and routine maintenance. Enjoy our out-of-the-weather service drive, customer lounge, shuttle service, and valet return. You don't have to imagine great service. You can live it because
Hoffman has it.
Hoffman Ford, Colonial Park.
Hoffman Ford, just what you're looking for. Hoffman has it.
I've been playing football for 4 years, since my freshman year in high school. My plans are to attend Penn State University and play football. Our trainers from OSS helped us prevent injuries by shaping us, wrapping us. They've always been there at practices and games, and they were always there when they were called upon.
OSS Health. Extraordinary care. Extraordinary athletes.
So a while back, I thought to myself, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to have to rent forever. I didn't have money for a down payment. I had no credit history, and I just got out of a divorce. But PHFA showed me that home ownership is possible. They offer me a low-interest mortgage and a way to manage the closing cost. To me, this is more than just my home. It's a huge accomplishment and a new chapter in my life, thanks to PHFA.
Today's professional skill tip will involve using one-handed shooting to bring balance and stability to the shot. I teach young players to balance the ball in one hand, in close, to establish a squared-up foundation when shooting. The one-hand shooting further out forces the player to stay square, reinforcing balance and lift on the shot. This one-handed emphasis will only help with leg power and the ball rolling off the one hand, developing more control and overall shot balance. The one-handed shooting is the fundamental tool I use to develop advanced shooters.
The Jet Giambalvo family of dealerships. 9 great franchises in 4 locations. Buick GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Stadler Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Genesis of York, and Giambalvo Hyundai of Hanover. The Giambalvo family dealerships. Over 30 million in new and pre-owned inventory. With a reputation for quality service after the sale, Giambalvo is proud to serve your community. Find out why. The Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 4 great locations. Online at Giambalvo.com.
Back here at West Shore Stadium, wrapping things up here tonight. A big win, 35-21 for Cedar Cliff over Redland. Let's take a look quickly at our here in our Hoffman Ford post-game analysis. The Capital Region Insurance Agency play of the game. Had a lot of good plays on offense, especially by Jonte Morris, but we're going to go defense here because the defense forced a lot of turnovers tonight, and our play of the game goes to Casey Robinson and his great fumble recovery, which we thought was going to be a pass. They didn't call it incomplete. Casey Robinson scooped it up and scored a touchdown.
Yep, Johnny on the spot there, and that pretty much iced the game for Cedar Cliff. Gave them a nice commanding lead.
Defense really hung in there and won it for Cedar Cliff, but it was really the running of Jonte Morris. He's going to be our Hoffman Ford player of the game. Touched the ball 23 times, over 220 yards of offense for him tonight. They gave him the ball. He ran up the middle, followed his lineman, followed him all night long. It was just wait and see, and then run, including the first touchdown he had was 61 yards. He had 3 touchdowns tonight. Great effort by Jonte Morris, our player of the game.
Morris was definitely the ringleader, and you got to give credit from the quarterback, the fullback, and that offensive line did a heck of a job.
So Cedar Cliff goes to Lower Dauphin next week. Lower Dauphin a winner tonight. Both teams 3-1. It's a Thursday night special for. Looking forward to that here. Gary Sutton will be on the call for you next Thursday night from Hershey Park Stadium. For Fort Chapman, I'm Travis Sparkson for the entire Invicta team. Thank you for joining us, and please buckle up.